Hey guys, welcome back to the latest episode of the Growing a Dental Practice podcast. I am your host, Mike Hennan. In today's episode, I'm joined by John Waller, the on-hold guy. For more than 25 years, John has been helping dental practices turn whole time into soul time. Welcome to the show, John. Thanks for joining me today. How are you?
Top of the afternoon to you, Mike. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great, man. It's quite early for you, isn't it? You're because you're like West Coast, aren't you?
No, it's mountain time. It's 9:05, so it's not too early.
It's not too early.
5 a.m. I would have hard time with that, but yeah. 9 o'clock.
Excellent.
No big deal. I should be up
now. Yeah. You shouldn't be in bed. No, excellent. Great to have you on the show, John. We've been like I said earlier, we've been meaning to do this for a while. Very excited because you're just a very interesting guy. So I'm looking forward to this podcast. And so without further ado, John, just tell us a bit about you. What's your background?
Great question. Thanks. In fact, I lived in England when I was 10 years old, up in Derby, in Repton.
You
ever heard of Four-Mark Hall?
I haven't heard of that location, but I'm familiar with Derby. Yeah.
Okay. How about Kettleston Hall?
No.
It's a palace. We lived there for 3 weeks, and
wow.
My dad had an exchange, a Fulbright exchange as a teacher with somebody in England.
Yeah.
So we moved there when I was 10 for a year. And in fact, I think I started being a salesperson when I was in England. When I was 10, I got caned by my headmaster for trading. You ever had corgi toys? Come on, you got
as in like corgi, the little corgi the dogs.
Yes, the dogs. Yeah. So I got busted for trading bubble gum for corgi toys at my school, and I got caned 6 times by my headmaster.
Oh wow! So wait, were you providing the gum, or were you?
The gum. I was trading the gum because I was a day kid, so I could go to the candy store in town and get the big old bubble gum, and then I would trade those.
Fantastic. I think you're right. That's the entrepreneurial journey started there, John. Love that. And okay. I didn't expect this direction, but I want to dive in more. So when you got the corgi toy, what did you do with it? Did you sell it, keep it? What did you do with it?
I collected them. I got a bunch of them now. I just like the James Bond Aston Martin and the Toyota 2000 that was in your twice. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. And you still
my favorite was the Simon Snorkel, the fire engine that went up and down.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And so you've still got them. Fantastic. I love that, John.
I used to tell people, if you go out on eBay, this is like years ago, there was like 580 corgi toys at any given time. I think you go out to eBay and you search for corgis, it's like 10,000 on eBay.
Yeah. Gotcha,
really
man.
I
love that. What a great little story. I love that. At 10 years old, there you are trading corgi toys
in another country, so no excise tax, right?
Yeah, I imagine it's probably the same. If I go to the States, I sound smarter, whereas you going back to coming to London sounds like cooler and like.
Well, they hated my guts because I was a Yank. They just they hated me and my brother.
Oh no! Perfect, dude. Right, so
I was selling telephone headsets from 1995 to 2010.
Yeah.
So I sold telephone headsets like the cams we've got.
Yeah.
For 15 years, and that was way before Bluetooth. People used to ask me where Bluetooth came from, and the name Bluetooth was from a Norse god who got 2 feuding villages to talk and communicate. That's where Bluetooth came from. They changed his name to that. Yeah. So I drove across the country in 2004 with a Palm Pilot and a Bluetooth dongle on my dashboard. This is way before iPhones came out, and we had. So I had a little GPS dongle on my dash. So
amazing. So have you always been in like sort of like telecoms, the telecom space, or
major techie? I'm a major techie.
Yeah, just tech.
So techie. Yeah, I love tech. In fact, I taught Palm's employees. I started the Silicon Valley Palm Users Group. I co-founded it in April of 2000 in Silicon Valley. So I taught Palm's employees how to use their device, the Palm.
Yeah. Wow, literally like at the beginning of the handheld device.
Yeah, this is 23 years ago. Yeah.
Wow, John, that's awesome. So tell me, how did you get? Obviously, I mentioned in the intro the on-hold guy. how did you get into on hold marketing? Where was the journey there?
That's a great question. Every time I do a one-to-one with somebody, they always ask me how I got started. Well, when I was selling headsets in '97, my boss, Mike Rosso, heard me on the radio. For some reason, instead of calling in, I used to drive over to Santa Cruz, California, and do 5 minutes of productivity time on a radio show on a Saturday morning. So he heard me, dropped a dime on me, and wanted me to have a one-to-one with him to see how we could refer business. And I asked him, I said, well, what if I sell it instead of referring it? How much can I make? And the rest is history. Yeah. So
that's it. That's how it got started. And then
this is from 4 cold calls in 1999 to a prospect that took me 4 calls to get in. It was a $113,000 sale from making 4 phone calls. So the fortune is in the follow-up. You've got to make the calls.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I actually need to hear that because I need to do more follow-up.
It's huge. You have to use a contact manager. You have to do that. Yeah. So at the time I was using, speaking of tech, PageNet had a voicemail pager. So somebody could call you, leave a voicemail message on the pager to call you. Well, I was on vacation at the time in Florida, and it got full. I lost his number. Fortunately, he called me back, and here we are 26 and a half years later doing the deal.
Perfect. Yeah, fantastic, man. Love that. And so, yeah, we talked. So that's how you got into it. But for people listening that might not, once we tell them, they'll probably realize what it is. But if they don't know what on-hold marketing is, let us know. Tell me in your words, John, what does that mean?
Okay, I like the way you phrase that. So, in my words, on-hold marketing or on-hold messaging is, for a dentist, it's a patient education message that talks about the practice when somebody gets put on hold, or as they say in India, they're on idle. Okay? And so, in fact, I just called up an endodontist this morning to make an appointment. And she says, can you put me on hold? And I laughed. I said, Danny, go for it. It's because she took the words right out of my pie hole. I always ask to get put on hold to see what they've got. And so first it starts out as music. Then it's country western. So they've got the radio on hold, which is illegal because it's rebroadcasting the music. So like if you and I write a song, or you and I and Sheila write a song, okay? Yeah. And it's being rebroadcast over the phones. Yeah. The APSCAP and BMI, the KGB will come after you and charge you a fine because you're rebroadcasting somebody else's song over the phones. So that's what this practice had, was a radio station on hold. Doesn't talk about the name of the practice, where you called, what they do, doctor's history. That's what you want when you've got somebody that's called your practice on hold. You've got a targeted captive audience. They're on hold on the phone. Why not talk to them about what you do? And I kind of liken it to an on-hold website for a lot less money, and we'll change it for you. It will change it for you as needed at no additional cost. Yeah.
So it's that. So for listeners, it's that like. So you're either phoning your practice and a dental practice, and you're waiting to get through to the receptionist. Mm-hmm. There's that music. There's the on hold element, or they might put you on hold, to speak to someone else.
You've got crickets, dead air, music, or the radio. You don't want any of those. You want to talk about your practice and what sets you apart from, like if you call Galveston, Texas, there's 91 dentists in Galveston, Texas. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've got competition. Set yourself apart.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, like, why? So obviously the whole on hold marketing is that we're putting like almost like an advert, aren't we, for the practice?
It's like totally on your own. Yes.
Totally an advert on your own phone line. So before or after, and then why is it so effective, John? Like, why is having that there so effective for educating patients?
Well, they've called you, they're on hold, they're doing this, they're listening, they've got a credit card in their hand. If you want to talk about other services, SOS, sell other stuff, sell other services, what the doctor's experience is, the different types of services you folks offer, what you're doing around COVID in your practice, you make them feel comfortable. They're hearing this, and it's maybe a 5 or 6 minute message, if they happen to be on hold that long. Now they feel comfortable about it. I've got a new dentist who told me the other day that he used to be a ballroom dancer. He danced with somebody that was on Dancing with the Stars, and he's got crickets on hold, dead air. I said, that should be on hold. And he's got this great philosophy of his practice. He's the only doctor there. Tell your story.
Yep.
Instead of dead air on hold. I mean, we're talking about, we're going to give them 60 days free. It's $2 a day. It's month to month. We're not getting married. Okay. It's $59 a month, which is 47.87 quid or something if you convert it in England. I mean, $2 a day for what? I mean, do you know what a CEREC machine is?
I've heard of it.
CEREC.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Same day crowns.
Yes. Yeah.
$2,000 versus $2 a day. I rest my case.
Yeah. Yes. So I think So kind of cutting through that, it's the idea of, and I think a good example here, John, and you probably come across this a lot, is patients go to a dental practice. Most of the time, they're just going for their checkups and their like teeth cleaning, maybe something else. And I think we've had examples where a dentist sees a patient, they've seen them for years. This patient comes in for their regular checkup, and they've suddenly got Invisalign. Like they've got a braces or something, and the guy's like, hang on, when did you get that done? Like, why didn't you come to me? And they're like, oh, I didn't know you did it. Like, it's that whole like, just because you offer a service inside of practice. I
got this vision of this guy in California. He's got like 5 or 6 locations. He's got billboards on 880 near where the Raiders used to play in Oakland. He's got billboards, Invisalign special. This is like 11 years ago. He had an Invisalign special. You get an iPad when you do Invisalign with the doc.
Wow.
The docs are always doing that when they first start out with Invisalign.
Yeah.
So why not talk about that bad boy on hold? You made a great case in point. I didn't know you did that. So for $2 a day, how many cases are you leaving on the table?
Yeah, exactly. And I guess like in an ideal world, they wouldn't go on hold, but we all know what happens in a practice. Like things happen. Like it's inevitable that they're going to go hold at some point.
Hold time happens. It's like that bumper sticker. You guys probably don't have that in England, but it says, something. It says, happens. Hold happens.
It definitely happens. So we're basically taking that time that a patient, whether it's an existing patient is phoning up to rebook an appointment and they're just learning more about other treatments, or it's a completely new patient and they're learning more about the practice, and it's almost like you're reassuring them to jumping on the call. Yeah, either way it's great.
As you would say in England, Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle, yeah. You were definitely here for a year, weren't you?
I Googled that yesterday to see where that came from. Yeah.
Where did it come from, John? I actually don't know.
Some guy named Robert, he helped his nephew get a job, and it's something to do with, doing that. But it's all about, it means like having a good ending,
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
John, I was already learning a lot, but you've just taken it up a notch.
Well, you're the dental marketing guy, Right?
So John, so we've established that hold time is a thing. You might as well fill it with something that's going to like educate and sell your practice to patients. Why is it that so many?
Well, not to cut you off, but Cuba Gooding Jr. said it best in Jerry Maguire. It's all about the quan. It's all about the money.
We're getting so many catchphrases today. I love it, John.
They're Wallerisms, but I mean, why would you not want to? You've got a targeted captive audience, and you want to make the best impression you can.
Yeah.
When that person
so why
want to ignore.
Yeah. So John, why? So if we know the benefits, some practices have on hold marketing like messaging. Why is it that some don't? Like, what's holding them back, or what's stopping them from doing it?
I love that question that you sent me. I think maybe it's that they're not aware that it exists. how easy to use and to set up, the benefits. And when dentists go to dental school, I mean, they're barraged with stuff. They might not even be talking about it. They might be walking around a dental convention to see some knucklehead in a spacesuit, okay, and get diverted from that booth. But they might just be walking by it and don't even think about it. It might be out of their realm of up here.
Gotcha. So they got but we know most practice owners have got a lot going on.
Totally.
So something like the on hold messaging might not be at the top of their list, but it's a very simple thing to implement, isn't it? So like John,
it's like having a receptionist at your front desk, and it's for $2 a day. Okay, it's like having it. In this day of practices being short staffed, for $2 a day, we're going to give you an extra employee that's always there, doesn't get sick, doesn't get pregnant, doesn't go on vacation. They're always there talking about your practice on hold.
So John, tell me what your process is for creating the on hold experience. Like, we're talking about creating like commercials. We stick them in the telephone. How does that work from a non-technical perspective?
Okay, so it's really, really, really easy. The practice doesn't have to do anything except bless the script that we write. So the 4 steps that we do is we write the script, provide the licensed music, the professional voice talent, and the studio time. So the first step is we're going to write a script. It takes 7 to 9 business days, especially this time of year because we're getting into the holidays. So we write a script, email it over, take a cup of coffee or tea, bless the message, say it's fine, return it back, and Bob's your uncle. And then we're going to go into the studio and produce that in another 7 to 9 business days. Then what we will do is email that over to you, have your provider load that if you've got. So there's 2 types of phones out there these days. VoIP, VoIP, which is voice over internet protocol. That's the easiest way we can do it for anybody in England or Scotland or Ireland or Wales. We just email it over. They have it loaded to the cloud. I did this 11 years ago. I have a Ring Central app on my iPhone. I have a custom on hold message. If you call my number on my smartphone, I can put you on hold on my smartphone. Because I wanted to see 11 years ago, if I was talking to high-end realtors who put somebody on hold, could I do this for their phone? And it's easy to do. We just load the message to the cloud and it's loaded. If you have a 20, 30-year-old Avaya or Lucent phone, you just need a little box which has an RCA jack. We plug in the jack into your music on hold jack and have a thumb drive. Ooh, just happen to have one here. It's got our name on it. So the message would be on here. You plug it in and you're good to go. That's not something I'd want to do in the UK. That would be here because I don't want to have to be sending over a box. I just want to email the message and you got it right now, real time.
Fantastic. Perfect. Like you said,
that's how simple it is. Yeah.
Really simple. So I guess you have a little. Is there like a small conversation or a form to fill out prior to that? Is that like a let you know?
2-page form to get some information, and we have no contracts. We're a month-to-month service. We're going to create the message for them. No cost, no risk, no obligation. Make the message.
Fantastic.
They try it for 60 days, and if they hate it, just all we ask is that you take it off, put your dead air back on hold or your music, and don't play our message anymore.
So they fill out a form. You write a script based on
I'm going to talk to them on the phone about that anyway.
Perfect.
It's very simple.
So they'll do that
after the 2-month trial. We're going to get first month and last month. We're going to get $118 or 94 quid or whatever, and then every month we bill them for $59, $2 a day.
So essentially, it's a super simple process. You guys take care of pretty much all of the technical aspects,
everything,
and then when it comes to uploading it to VoIP and stuff, which most systems are these days, or they're heading that way. You can walk them through the process.
Load it to the cloud, like I was able to do on Ring Central myself. You just load it. It's easy.
Yeah, Fantastic. And you've already touched on like how you do it differently, John, because I've heard some horror stories of like obviously you're not the only person out there doing this, but I've heard horror stories of people doing this where they tie people into like 5-year contracts, like really unscrupulous kind of like, and if you miss that 30-day window to cancel, you're locked in for another
trees. It's called green tree.
So you're like
that's apart from other providers is our customer service, our follow-up with people. 60 days, no cost, no risk, no obligation, month to month, and no long-term commitment. And we take really good care of our clients. We have a great return rate. So you've got nothing to lose. It's month to month. It's like signing up for Prime Video on Amazon. You can get out of it any time, or Netflix. No, why would you not want to do something month to month? MTM.
So month to month is great for your cash flow. It's just great for that reassurance that you're not tied in.
If you close practice or whatever.
Exactly. Things change.
They do. Life shows up.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, John, honestly, really insightful so far. I think anyone that's listening right now, if you don't have like an on-hold marketing messaging, definitely get in touch with John. You can do that by going to go to johndweller.com.
That's my digital talking business card. You can call me on WhatsApp, 208-546-8330. You can call me on that on WhatsApp, or here in the U.S. I answer my own phone. You get to talk to the worldwide Wallinator. I just came up with that yesterday. Dub.
Worldwide Wallinator. Almost an exclusive. John, I'll make sure that the details are in the show notes. Okay. And then John, a slight different question here. So based on your experience of being your own boss, so you're a business owner, and also
I work
the
owner of the company. I'm just a sales guy.
Gotcha. That's fair, man. But based on your experience of working with loads of different businesses, particularly dental practices, what would you say to anyone thinking about buying or starting a dental practice? Like, what would be your go-to advice based on your experience?
That's a really great question. I would say make sure you know what kind of a practice you're going to have, because what is your philosophy going to be? And it's like using a contact manager. You need to have that from the get-go, from the very beginning, so that it doesn't change in 6 months or a year. Just know what you're going to do. Know, either you're going to have a monster practice with a lot of docs in it, or it's just going to be you. But know what that is going in, and don't change. And have a plan for how you market to your patients, or I call them referral sources. The most important asset of your practice is your patients, because they're going to refer people to you, their husbands, their wives, whatever. So know what your philosophy is going to be, know how you're marketing, and start off from the get-go, have something on hold, because that's another salesperson that's telling your story on hold on the phone.
Yeah, John, fantastic. And then just a quick reminder, just remind us like how listeners can get in touch with you or learn more about you.
Either on the phone here in the US or the UK, on WhatsApp, 208-546-8330. My email, it's really, really hard. theonholdguy@gmail.com. So it's THE, there's a the in the beginning of it. theonholdguy@gmail.com. Or my digital business card is johndweller.com. I've got 3 dental demos on the front of that puppy that you can hear what we do. Without going to our website, you can go to our website. But the digital business card has my phone, my email, demos, my LinkedIn link.
Perfect. Yeah. So guys, if you don't have an on-hold marketing message, or it's time for you to update it and freshen it up.
A lot of them are old. They're ancient. They're like back to Caesar's time.
Yeah. Wow, that's old, man. Perfect, dude. Well, John, thank you so much. Honestly, I have thoroughly enjoyed this podcast. It's always great to laugh. And what you do is,
Yeah.
I think what you do is great for practices and businesses in general. So guys, if you do have dead air on your phone calls, do get in touch with John. And John, until next time, I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, and I can help any business out, not just dentists, but any kind of
Not just
business.
dental. Yeah. But you've got a lot of experience with dental, haven't you?
Tons. Absolutely. 26.5 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thanks, guys.